morning to all of you. Okay, let me start the class. Aji moi duta class lom. Okay, I'll take first aid theory aru PSM practicals. So first aid theory. What have we studied in the last class? Barnali De Burma. In first aid theory, what did we learn in the last class? Yes, Barnali, say fast. What we learned in the last class? Say fast, Barnali. Did you write or not, Barnali? Nawaz, do you have the notes? Last class, what did we learn in first aid theory? Last class to ki asile?
Hello, ma'am. Ma'am. Qualification of first aider.
Qualification.
Or rules of first aid. Golden rules of first aid.
Ma'am, hemorrhage asile. What is hemorrhage?
Hemorrhage.
What is hemorrhage?
কিন্তু মানে ম্যাম হেদিনা ক্লাস কৰিব নোৱাৰিলে hemorrhage question to দিছিলে
Yes ma'am, only hemorrhage question to disile. What is hemorrhage disile tar pisot answer to he ek eta sentence or answer to di tar pisot aru class nakorilu.
Hoy ma'am.
Acha. Tenehole etu what is hemorrhage? Hemorrhage or bleeding is a flow of blood from an artery, vein or capillary. Etu asile no?
Vein or
yes ma'am.
Okay.
তালকে গৈছিলে
আচ্ছা আৰু artery, veins আৰু capillaries or meaning দিছিলো না নাই?
নাই
Ma'am
দিয়া
ko disile likhibole napalo. Apuni ebar reading
লিখিব
disile.
আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে লিখা তেনেহলে নোট লিখা ঠিক আছে নোট মানে ইজ জাস্ট মিনিং হয় আর্টারি লিখা and some of you please turn on your videos on korile at least I will understand na whether you all are writing or not, whether you are concentrating or not. Some of you turn on your videos eta duta on korile hobo. Okay, artery likha blood vessels that carries blood university কি আছে এতিয়া সৌৰভ
hello ma'am
কিবা আছে নেকি ইউনিভাৰ্সিটি হ
মানে পেমেন্ট কৰিব যাই আছো ma'am জগালি কৰা নহল
ও আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে
ma'am question to ki
নোট লিখা নোট লিখা তাৰ পিছত
first aid theory ma'am
artery লিখা put a dash blood vessels that carries blood turn on your videos Hamida Banita Nawaz Paragdoti and all some of you turn on your videos okay ঠিক আছে লিখা blood vessels that carries blood 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 away from the heart
ফাৰ্ষ্টৰ পৰা ক'ব লাগে লিখা নাই পৰা ক'ব লাগে মই লিখা নাই একো লিখা নাই নোট লিখিছো আমি
starting এটা লাইনে আছিলে তুমি তোমাৰ ফ্ৰেন্ডছৰ পৰা লিখি লোৱা হ'ব
হেতু লিখিছো হেমাৰেজ হেতু আজি যেটো কলে মানে নোট কলে হেতু লিখা নাই আৰ্টাৰি তাৰ
Oh,
পিছত
note লিখা এতিয়া note লিখা NOT note can you
লিখিছো
write
এইটো
acha artery likha artery 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 put a dash and likha blood vessels that carries blood blood carries blood blood vessels that carries blood away from the heart away from the heart HEART away from the heart to other parts of the body away from the heart to other parts of the body মানে কি হয় that arteries to blood vessels হয় that carries blood from the heart to the different organs okay different parts of the body full stop দিয়া তাৰ পিছত লিখা it carries oxygenated blood oxygenated মানে pure blood ঠিক আছে OXY GENATED oxygenated 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 blood মানে pure blood or else to me rich in oxygen okay it's known as oxygenated blood তাৰ পিছত লিখা veins number 2 veins 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 put a dash and write
ম্যাম স্পেলিংটো আৰু এবাৰ কৈ দিয়া
কোনটো veins 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 put a dash and write veins are blood vessels veins are blood vessels that carry blood towards the heart 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 so veins to ki hoy veins are the blood vessels that will carry blood towards your heart and arteries to ki hoy it carries blood from the heart to the different parts of the body okay etu hoy difference then full stop write down it carries deoxygenated blood deoxygenated blood mane impure blood okay or else partial amount of oxygen thakibo means adha kintu fully rich in oxygen to oxygenated blood boli koy okay it carries deoxygenated blood DEOXYGENATED deoxygenated blood can you write number 3 capillaries
hello ma'am স্পেলিংটা আকৌ
number
ক'ব
3
লাগে
লিখা
it carries তাৰপিছত মানে কি ক'লে
deoxygenated likha DEOXYGENATED deoxygenated
লিখিছো
next likha capillaries number 3 likha capillaries 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 dash diya aru likha tiny blood vessels tiny 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 horu tiny blood vessels tumar blood to ki hoy blood to pani nisna nohoy okay blood consists of its blood is made up of horu blood vessels makes a blood okay so these horu blood vessels are known as capillaries okay tar pisot likha full stop dia next likha types of hemorrhage etia likha types of hemorrhage aru underline kora types of hemorrhage
ma'am ma'am capillaries are only tiny blood vessels boli rakhi ekhinte stop koi dim na
ha
okay
just tiny blood vessels likha mane horu blood vessels Next likha types of hemorrhage. Types TYPS. Types of hemorrhage underline kora. Types of hemorrhage. Any idea ki hobo types of hemorrhage? Hamida? Any idea types of hemorrhage ki hobo? Kushal? Pretty Shangshai, any idea? What will be the types? Okay.
Ma'am, ki aapko ba koi dio?
Types of hemorrhage.
Yes, ma'am.
Types. Kimanda types aste no hemorrhage or itu hudisu. So types
Okay.
of hemorrhage. Okay. So to me already likhisa. What is hemorrhage? To me ki likhisa. Hemorrhage or bleeding is a flow of blood from an artery, vein or capillary. So artery, vein or capillary. Itu ase tumar tinita types of hemorrhage. ঠিক আছে?
Yes.
So likha. There are 3 different types of hemorrhage. There are 3 different types of hemorrhage. Tinita types ase. There are 3 different types of hemorrhage. There are 3 3 different types of hemorrhage or bleeding. Different types of hemorrhage or bleeding. BLEEDing or bleeding. Number 1 likha. Arterial bleeding. Number 1, arterial bleeding. Arterial. ARTERIAL. Arterial bleeding. Arterial bleeding. BLEEDING. Arterial bleeding. Bulletin dia. Bulletin means eta dot dia tolot. Dot dia likha. Blood is BLOOD. Blood is bright red in color. Blood is bright. 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 Bright red. Lal. Okay. RED. Red. Bright red in color. COLOUR. Color. Bright red. Red mane? Hamida?
Ranga.
Yes. Correct. Blood is bright red in color. Second dot likha. Second dot dia. Aur likha. Eat. Eat. Spurts. SPURTS. It spurts. SPURTS. It spurts at each contraction. It spurts at each contraction. 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 Spurts mane ki hoy? Ekdom mane forceful hoy. Forceful taste means your blood will come out in a forceful way. Okay, bahut zoor ke. So it spurts at each contraction. Third point dia. Third point at the dot dia. Aur likha. Flow is pulsatile. Flow is pulsatile. PUL. Third point, flow is pulsatile. 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 So itu tinita points ase in arterial bleeding. Okay, flow is pulsatile. 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 Number 2 likha. Venous bleeding.
Hello ma'am.
Second point. Yes, Hamida kwa.
Pulsatile etu ki meaning ki hoy?
Ha.
এই flow is pulsatile etu ki hoy? Meaning ki hoy?
Flow is pulse mane whenever mane jenekwa tumar blood to flow koribo mane tumar pulse to kod ase. So tumar pulse to mane beating koribo. ঠিক আছে? Because the bleeding has occurred from the artery. Artery পৰা হৈছে এই কাৰণে blood to বহুত জোৰকে ওলাব plus তোমাৰ pulse to effect কৰিব। ঠিক আছে? এই কাৰণে flow is pulsatile. Number second point লিখা venous bleeding. VENOUS venous bleeding. number second likha venous bleeding, venous, venous bleeding. Eta dot dia tolot bulletin start kora, eta dot dia aru likha blood is dark red in color. Blood is dark red in color. Dark, dark, dark. Blood is dark red in color. dark. Blood is dark red in color. Second point likha. Second point, second dot, the dot dia second. Now likha it does not spurt. It does not, DOES does, NOT not. It does not spurt, SPURT. It does not spurt, SPURT, spurt. Full stop. That means the flow, it won't be forceful. Okay, the blood flow won't be forceful. Mane it does not spurt. Third point likha steady flow. Steady, 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 steady. Steady means lahe, okay, steady. Steady flow. STEADY, steady flow, FLOW flow. Tarpisod likha. Number 3, capillary bleeding. Number 3, capillary bleeding. Number 3, capillary bleeding. CAPILLARY, capillary bleeding. BLEEDING, capillary bleeding. Bulletin start kora, eta dot dia tolot. Put a dot below and write blood is red in color. Blood, BLOOD. Blood is red in color, RED. Blood is red in color. Blood is red in color, RED, red in color. Third dot, second dot, sorry, second dot likha, eta dot dia tolot second. It does not spurt. It does not spurt. It does not spurt, SPURT. Second dot, it does not spurt. It does not spurt. SPURT. It does not spurt. Third dot, eta dot dia last point likha, eta dot dia slow but even flow. Slow, 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 slow but BUT, but even flow, EVEN, even FLOW, flow. Slow but even flow, FLOW. Slow but even flow, EVN, even flow, FLOW, flow. So kimanta types ase hemorrhage or? Anyone tell me, somebody? How many types of hemorrhage are there?
3.
3 types. What are they? What are they?
Arterial bleeding,
Yes.
venous bleeding, and capillary bleeding.
Capillary
Okay.
bleeding.
And in arterial bleeding, what is the color of blood?
Bright red,
Red.
ma'am.
Color of blood is bright red. Okay.
Bright
Are
red.
we in venous bleeding? In
Dark
venous
red.
bleeding?
Dark
Dark
In
red.
capillary bleeding?
Blood
Blood
Or
is
in
red,
capillary?
red in color.
Only red. Okay, in capillary only red. Red in color.
Only red.
Aru
Yes, ma'am.
in arterial bleeding, it spurt kore na kore? Yes or no? It spurts or not?
No.
In arterial bleeding?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
In
Yes.
venous bleeding, it spurts or it does not spurt?
নহয়
No. Are you in
Maybe.
capillary bleeding?
Slow but even.
It does not squirt, ma'am.
It spurts kore na nokore?
No kore, ma'am. Capillary bleeding.
Are in arterial bleeding, flow to kenekwa hoy? Flow, FLOW, flow is
Ma'am, pulsatile.
pulsatile. In venous
Yes,
bleeding,
ma'am.
flow to kenekwa hoy?
Ma'am, steady.
Steady flow. And in capillary bleeding,
Slow
Even
but
flow.
even flow.
slow but
Even flow.
even flow.
Flow.
Okay, Roba, I will show you one picture. Wait.
Okay,
Take me, Roba. Are you able to see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Itia, ahise no?
Yes. Aise, ma'am.
So this is artery. Okay, arterial bleeding, venous bleeding, capillary bleeding. Okay, the 3 types of
Yes.
bleeding: arterial bleeding, venous bleeding, capillary bleeding. So yet the color will be bright red, dark red, and only red. Okay, it spurts mane etu hoy.
ma'am.
So see how the blood is flowing, such a forceful stream. Can you see? Iman force ot ahi ase blood. Okay, so this is known as arterial bleeding, means it spurts at each contraction. Kintu in veins and capillaries it won't spurt. Tenekwa spurt nokore. See how it is flowing. Dekhisa? So this is the difference. Aro yat flow is pulsatile. Where is the pulse? You feel your pulse here, so flow will be pulsatile. But here the flow is steady. Aro here slow but even flow. So these are the 3 types of hemorrhage. Okay,
Haemorrhage. Yes, ma'am.
is it okay?
Yes,
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So now, Itya, now write down effects of hemorrhage. Write down the effects of hemorrhage. Effects of hemorrhage. EFFECTS. Effects of hemorrhage. Underline it. Effects of hemorrhage. Underline kora. Effects of hemorrhage. Underline. Effects. EFFECTS. Effects of hemorrhage. Number 1. Number 1, Lika. The loss of red blood cells. The loss of red blood cells. The loss, LOSS. Whenever there is a bleeding, you will lose blood. Okay, so the loss of red blood cells, RBC, causes a lack of oxygen to the body system. Causes a lack of oxygen. OXYGEN.
starting of our audio.
The loss of LOSS. The loss of red blood cells. RBC, RBC, red blood cells, causes, CAUSES, causes a lack of oxygen, LAC ke lack of oxygen, OXYGEN, a lack of oxygen to the body system. To the body system. To the body system. So what it is said in point number 1, that whenever you have a loss of RBC, whenever there is excessive bleeding hole, what will happen? It will lead to lack of oxygen in the body system. Okay, loss of RBC hole, what will happen? There will be a lack of oxygen. Okay, in the body system. Number 2nd point. Number 2, you write down a decrease, DECREASE, a decrease in blood volume, a decrease in blood volume, a decrease in blood volume, a decrease in blood volume causes, CAUSES, causes a decrease, DECREASE, a decrease in blood pressure. A decrease in blood pressure. BLOOD. A decrease in blood pressure. PRESSURE, pressure. So whenever tomar blood volume to komi jabo, okay, or komi jai, okay. Whenever there will be a decrease in the blood volume, what will happen? It will lead to low BP. Okay, it will lead to decreased blood pressure, mane low BP, low blood pressure. Okay. 3rd point likha. Number 3, the heart's pumping rate, the heart, HEART apostrophe S, the heart's pumping rate, pumping, P-U-M-P-I-N-G, the heart's pumping rate, the heart's pumping rate, P-U-M-P-I-N-G, the heart's pumping rate increases, the heart's pumping rate increases, I-N-C-R-E-A-S-E-S, the heart's pumping rate increases to compensate, to TO2, compensate, C-O-M-P-E-N-S-A-T-E, to compensate for reduced blood pressure, to compensate for reduced blood pressure. So তোমাৰ heart or pumping rate, তোমাৰ heart to সদায় pump কৰে ন, so heart or pumping rate to বাঢ়ি যাব, okay? Your heart's pumping rate will increase. Why? Because there will be reduced, because of the reduced blood pressure. আৰু তোমাৰ BP কেনেকুৱা low হৈছে? Because there is no blood to pump. আৰু blood to নহয় কাৰণে, because of the decreased amount of blood to pump, what will happen? You will have low blood pressure, and low blood pressure hole what will happen? Your তোমাৰ heart or pumping rate to বাঢ়ি যাব. Your heart's pumping rate will increase, okay, because of low blood pressure or low BP. Number 4 point, write down the last point, number 4. Number 4, the force of the heartbeat, the force of the heartbeat, the force of the heartbeat, FRC, the force of the heartbeat is reduced, the force of the heartbeat is reduced, R-E-D-U-C-E-D, the force of the heartbeat is reduced, R-E-D-U-C-E-D, reduced, since there is less blood to pump. Since, S-I-N-C-E, since there is less blood to pump.
Blood to pump.
Heartbeat. Why it will decrease? Because of less blood to pump, because there is no blood to pump in the body. Because of that, what will happen? Your heart's pumping rate or the heartbeat will increase, okay? So these are the 4 points for effects of hemorrhage. Okay, next you write down aims of management. Next you write down aims of management. Aims of management, aims, A-I-M-S of underline kora. Underline it, aims of management. M-A-N-A-G-E-M-E-N-T, aims of management. Underline it. Underline aims of management. So if there is bleeding hole, what will be the first thing that you will do? Any idea? What you have to do? Bleeding hole, what will you do? Sai thakibone ne ki koriba, kiba koriba tomorrow? Say, what will you do?
Bandage.
Shushmita,
Yes, ma'am.
tell me, if there is bleeding, what will you do? Management, how will you manage? Ki koriba? What will you do?
Ma'am, cotton and
Cotton means to me, what? Oh, sorry, what will you do?
ma'am, cotton has bleeding to clean কৰি লম.
Yes, very good, correct. Aru
Dettol তাৰপিছত bandage.
bandaging koriba. Okay, very good. So first thing to me, you will have to control the bleeding. Bleeding to control koribo lagibo, hoy na nohoy? Hoy na?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So likha, number 1, control bleeding as soon as possible. First point, bleeding hole, the first thing is always tomorrow you have to control the bleeding. ঠিক আছে? So first point likha, control bleeding as soon as possible. Control bleeding as soon as possible. First point. Control bleeding as soon as possible. POSSIBLE as soon as possible.
Ma'am, আৰু এবাৰ কৈ দিয়ক।
Control, CONTROL, control.
Last two.
Control bleeding as soon as possible. As soon as possible. Okay. Number second point likha. Number 2. Keep the wound clean. Keep, KEEP. Keep the wound, WOUND. Keep the wound clean, CLEAN, clean. Okman hunkale likha. Please write a bit fast because meeting time only 3 minutes baki ase. Keep the wound clean, 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 and dress it. And dress, DRESS, dress mane dressing, okay? And dress it to minimize blood loss. And dress it to minimize blood loss. BLOOD, blood loss, LOSS. And dress it to minimize blood loss and prevent infection. And prevent infection. INFECTION. Okay. That means tomar juntu ghao to ase wound. Huh? Minimize blood loss. BLOOD, blood loss, LOSS. Minimize blood loss and prevent infection. And prevent infection. INFECTION. So, juntu tomar Sushmita juntu kole, that one only. Okay. Safa means you will have to clean the wound. Okay. You have to first clean the wound with a safa kapur. Okay. You should maintain hygiene of the patient. Okay. Safa kapur di clean kori. Then you will have to dress it with bandaging. Okay. Bandaging koribo lagibo. Why? To minimize blood loss aru to prevent infection. Okay. Next point, the last point you write, number 3, arrange urgent removal to hospital. After bandaging, what you will have to do? You will have to send the patient or the casualty to the hospital. Likha. Number 3, arrange, ARRANGE, arrange urgent removal to hospital. Arrange urgent removal, URGENT, urgent removal to hospital. That means you will have to take the casualty to the hospital. Arrange urgent removal to the hospital. Okay. General management we will discuss in the next class. Okay. So, a tinita points are say first, control bleeding. Second point, wound.
Point to কৈ দিয়ক।
Last point.
Third two.
Arrange urgent removal to hospital. Hospital. Arrange urgent removal to hospital. First point, control bleeding. Bleeding to control koribo lagibo. Tar pisot keep the wound clean. Aru bandaging koribo lagibo to prevent infection. Third point, you will have to take the patient to the hospital. Okay. Etia you can leave the meeting. Thank you. Aru ekbar join kora. Join kora aru ekbar after 5 minutes.
Okay, ma'am.